Before the world we know, before the rise of kingdoms and the writing of history, there was another world. A world untouched by sin, pure, radiant, and alive with the presence of God. The earth was young then, clothed in beauty, filled with light. The rivers sparkled like liquid glass, the trees bore fruit without decay, and the air carried the harmony of creation. It was a time when man and God walked together, when the voice of the Creator echoed freely among the leaves of the garden. In that world stood Adam and Eve, the first of our kind. They knew no pain, no hunger, no fear. But even in paradise, freedom existed, and with freedom came choice. When they disobeyed the one commandment given to them, the gates of Eden closed forever. The curse entered the earth, and death began its quiet march through all generations. Yet even as judgment fell, God made a promise. The seed of the woman would crush the serpent's head. Hope was born, hidden within the flow of time. Adam and Eve had sons, Cain and Abel. But jealousy stained the new world. In a moment of rage, Cain struck down his brother, and the ground drank the blood of the innocent. It was the first death, the first echo of what was to come. Cain was cursed and driven away, a wanderer upon the earth. But even in exile, humanity multiplied. Generations passed, and the children of Cain built cities, learned music, metalwork, and crafts. Civilization was being born. Yet with progress came corruption. Men forgot their Creator and began to worship their own strength. The world grew darker, and sin spread like a shadow that no light could chase away. But not all hope was lost. From the line of Seth, the son given to Adam in Abel's place, men began to call upon the name of the Lord. A remnant still remembered the voice that once walked in Eden. Time moved on. Centuries passed, and the earth became filled with people, mighty men, warriors, and kings. But something strange began to happen. The sons of God, celestial beings who once stood in the presence of the Almighty, looked upon the daughters of men and found them beautiful. They descended from the heavens and took them as wives. From their union came a generation unlike any other, the Nephilim, the giants of old, beings of immense strength and knowledge. They ruled the earth with power and terror. The world was filled with violence and sin beyond imagination. Every thought of man's heart was only evil continually. The skies darkened, and heaven could no longer bear the stench of corruption rising from the earth. And so, God made a decision. I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth. Yet among billions, one man found grace. His name was Noah, a righteous man, blameless among his generation. God spoke to him, revealing the coming judgment, a flood that would wash away the corruption of the world. Noah obeyed. He built an ark as God commanded, a vessel of salvation in a world that mocked him. For decades he labored under the sun while others laughed, eating, drinking, and marrying, unaware that their days were numbered. Then the sky began to change. The winds grew violent. The earth trembled. And for the first time since creation, the heavens opened and the waters poured down. The fountains of the deep broke forth. Mountains vanished, cities drowned, and the cries of the wicked echoed into the storm. The flood swallowed everything. Only Noah, his family, and the creatures within the ark survived. For 40 days and nights, the world that had once known glory and corruption alike was buried under endless waves. When the waters finally receded, a silence fell over the earth. The ark came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat. Noah stepped out into a new world, one washed clean but scarred forever by the memory of judgment. He built an altar and offered sacrifices, and God made a covenant never to destroy the earth by water again. The rainbow was set as a sign of that promise, a symbol of mercy shining through justice. But as generations passed, mankind forgot once more. The descendants of Noah multiplied, spread across the lands, and began to build empires. They spoke one language and decided to challenge heaven itself. At Babel, they built a tower that would reach the skies, a monument to their pride. But God scattered them, confusing their tongues and dispersing them across the earth. Nations were born, each carrying fragments of the old world, echoes of Eden, whispers of the flood, memories of giants and gods that once walked among men. Some say the knowledge of that ancient world still lingers in myths, in monuments too massive to explain, in ruins that defy history. The pyramids, the megaliths, the forgotten cities buried under oceans, they are remnants, they say, of the world before the flood. A civilization that rose under the watch of the Nephilim and fell beneath the weight of divine judgment. And though the flood erased their names, their shadows still haunt the legends of every culture. The Greeks spoke of titans. the Sumerians of gods descending from the sky, the Egyptians of divine kings ruling before men. Could they all be echoes of the same forgotten truth? Perhaps the flood did not only destroy life, but memory itself. Yet deep within the Bible, in the words of Jesus, there lies a chilling warning. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the Son of Man. The same corruption, the same arrogance, the same rebellion that drowned the old world will rise again before the end. The question is, have we learned? Or are we once more building our towers, ignoring the signs of the times? The world before the flood was wiped away by water. The next judgment, the scriptures say, will be by fire, a purging not of land, but of hearts. The story of the flood is not just about the past. It is a warning written in the bones of the earth, carved in ancient stones, and whispered in prophecy. For every beginning has an end. And just as God once closed the door of the ark, one day he will close the door of time. The world before the flood may be gone, but its echoes remain, reminding us that even in judgment, there is mercy, and that beyond destruction, there is always a new beginning.